Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for checking out how to film skateboarding, how to film lines. This one really, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks for it, but honestly, it is just a ton of practicing. Most of the guys who are the best line filmers, it's because they skate a lot. So it's, you know, they're not just sitting there and like, you know, waiting for someone to film something the whole time they're skating too. Because you have to develop a very smooth push, and you just have to understand skateboarding quite a bit. If you're shooting long lens or just standstill fisheye, I feel like you can get away with not skating that much. My first major tip is that you need a good filmer board. For me personally, I like to have a filmer board that has as soft of wheels as I can find, but kind of small, because I like it to mimic kind of my normal skateboard. Some people have these giant wheels, and you know, since I skate, I noticed that when I would try and push with a bigger wheel, it felt so different, so I didn't feel like I was filming that well. But since I got a smaller wheel, the same trucks that I use when I skate, and basically the same shape, like the same shape like an 8, that it just makes it feel more at home for me, so that I'm able to get a better feel and a better angles for everyone's lines. Alright guys, so I'm gonna film some lines with my Sony FS700 with the Canon 8 to 15 millimeter fisheye. And I'll just give you guys some tips about how far away I think you should be and how you should angle your camera. So a big tip that I kind of just demonstrated right there in that line is you probably want to learn how to push switch pretty good. It's really hard to do, but just learning how to push switch, you can either be on their left side or right side, and you can choose which way to push, so then you can get the best angle possible. Sometimes when you, like if I had to push goofy for that, I would have been like all over here behind my back, and that's just really hard to do. So learning how to push both ways is a huge tip. It's hard, but it's worth it if you really want to get good at filming lines. The big thing too is that when you're pushing behind your subject, make sure you try and push as smoothly as possible. So most of the time that's like a really long push, and you typically, when I film lines, I don't really put my foot back on my board. I've noticed I'm able to keep it a lot steadier when I just kind of stay on my foot on my board, and then my other foot is engaging the ground when it needs to. Okay, so a major thing that a lot of people don't realize until after they've ruined a bunch of clips is that you need to learn how to stop and not make a noise. So for me, if you stop with your full foot just flat, normally it makes a pretty gnarly noise. So normally I'll drag my foot sideways so it catches like the side of my foot like that. And then normally it won't make a noise, as you can see in those two clips. Alright guys, so hopefully those tips helped you with learning how to film lines. Honestly though, it really is just a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of time and just learning how the skateboard works and how each trick flies at you differently. So it's starting to rain. So I think this is the only one we're gonna be able to do today. But I hope this helped, and tune in next week for shooting B-roll. Good.